Hello, welcome to Live Cat Cam. Now, I had carefully set Live Cat Cam up so that it would be next to where Susie sleeps, but she has decided that naturally today is when she's going to get up out of bed. So, I've just put it on the floor. There she is. Oh, she's having a little bath. I feel like David Attenborough if he was chasing a cat around a studio flat. So cat cam might move at some points. But that is that she's currently sitting in the position. This is where we get a sunbeam. So she may want to stay here. She might go back to bed, in which case it's all set up for her little square bed. If we go to Big Rosie Small Cat, hi. It's a little square because she's got a cube bed in the Galax. So it was this beautiful setup, but she's cruelly decided, bye Suze, to get up and have a, oh dear, she's making a move into the control center. Hello, Susan. She's making a move to the control center. See, previously I was like, it's so sad that she's not up and about while I'm streaming, but because we can't see her. But actually, maybe that's for the best. Hello, baby girl. Do you want to come on screen, or are you going? Hello. No. But I did promise live cat coverage, and we have. You can't punch me in the gullet on a YouTube stream. You gonna go back to your? Do you want to go back to your sunbeam, Suze? Hello, everybody. How are we? Hello, chat. Hello, chat. Saying hello to Susie. Actually, we'll go for. Oh, that's pretty good. Well, we'll play around. Obviously, because we have cat cam today, we don't have hand cam. We're in because the camera is my phone, which weirdly, I think I said last week when I was planning on setting this up, it talks wirelessly to the stream, which I find a little alarming. That I can just have the camera or the phone wherever I like. I mean, we'll see how it does battery-wise. But anyway, look, live cat coverage. So hello, chat. How are we? Faith says no mending for me on this Monday. I shall be spinning. That is lovely. I had this great plan that this was always going to be a Mending Monday stream because it would trick me into doing the mending and things that I need to do. However, I have to think about mending, and it's not as easy to do a live and mend at the same time. So if I ever make videos of those things, I'll probably be pre-recorded. But I'm just going to tell Blue Sky that the cat is live. She's good, isn't she? She is so good and small, and oh, she's sitting in her sunbeam. Oh, okay, there we go. I feel that there's been a bit of all the cover images for these streams start with like cat not guaranteed, but the implication is that there'll be a cat there is a cat in the, and we can just look at her. There'll be some craft in a moment, gang, it's fine. But yeah, let me know how the audio is, if we've got some music. Oh, she's off again. Whether you can hear, oh, she's just coming into the control center. Susan, please. Yeah, so it's very exciting to have it all, trying. I think I've said last week that each week I'll sort of try new things. So this was quite fun to set up a new camera setup and work out that I could do cameras, away, so I could, I don't know, have a B-roll going. The little girl's like, I want to bake a cake. Maybe if I live streamed, I'd actually bake a cake. Susie, we've told the internet that you're here, and now you've left Cat Central. Sorry to everyone who's just popped in from Blue Sky and is like, that's not a cat, that's a woman. That's a cat. It's not as nice when I just grab her and pull her into frame, but she's here. Hello, there's a cat. While she just does a lap of a very full table, no, don't rub your face on that, that's the camera. Never work with children or animals, but especially animals who were kind of like you children. Hello. Oh, no, don't put your foot in the tea. Crafts. Feels like Blue Peter. I said this would be finished, and that was a lie. That was a lie to you. I am in the toe decreases. She's hunting an insect. Imagine if I had told you all it was live cat cam, and actually that was a lie. It was a lied cat cam, and it was all just me narrating what a cat is doing off screen. But obviously this is the clocks have gone forward, so we have a slightly different. I mean, I can do live cat cam. Let's go to cat cam. It's a tall cat. What are you doing, Susan? Good lord. What are you doing? Anyway, that's the cat. She's up there now. We'll go back to big rosy small cat. But no, why don't I just cycle through every other scene? There we go. Yeah, we're in the BST, right? So we got a whole new schedule for the day. And the schedule for Susie is I've got to, I don't know if that insect's on this side of the window, my love. I've got to eat an insect. But hey, there she is. She's off again. Goodbye. Why don't you go to bed? If you go to bed, Susie, then this is all beautifully set up. I nearly put tape on the floor and everything. Well, now I can't see her, and that's more troubling. Socks. Good grief. We're really close. We're really close. This is how much I have left. It will take me... Don't drop that in the tea. I'm fine. On the previous one, you can see that I had to... the only bit of red I used was really just to sew the end closed when I grafted the stitches. So, we have most of the red and a black and white stripe and some green, but I think it's going to... So I have squirrels on the roof, and they're annoying, but they set off Susie, which is also annoying. I'm going to have to dismantle the previous sock that was a sample in my shop, because then I can use I can get the heels to match, which isn't necessary, but I do think will be nicer to have little matching heels on these socks rather than cobbling together scraps ahoy. And even though these needles are broken and the tips kept coming off, or threatening to come off, I managed to do the rest of the sole without that happening again. So that is that. I'm just gonna sip my tea. How are we doing chat wise? Good. So, that's, I mean, apart from the heels, that's very close to being finished. Because the sock requires, the heel yarn harvesting requires dismantling and washing dismantling, skein, washing, drying, winding a sock's worth of wool. I don't know that that's going to happen very soon. Although, based on the crafts I did last week, we never can tell because I don't even have them with me because they so swiftly got finished and taken to sell. So if you're watching this and you don't know my craft shop history, until last summer I ran a haberdashery and yarn shop, and I closed that. Great decision, very positive, we're very happy about it. And then the very lovely gift shop next door to me, they were in a very small space. They took over the space I had, and I had, and I rent a little section of it to have a mini version, which we call Little Slip Stitch. It's kind of, like a little Waitrose or Sainsbury's local. So I stock not just haberdashery and wool and books and kits, but I sell things to make there. I make things to sell there. And one of the things I made was some coasters. But I was going to say this would be amazing if I had, but I don't have it set up for, dear viewer, is to put images that I want to show you. I think I would have to have those loaded into OBS, and I don't have that ready yet. Oh my god. Hello! So cat cam is now just in the background of this. Yes, last year, while I was closing my shop, as you might imagine, it was quite physically and mentally draining. So I was crocheting a lot when sorry, because I have the stream running so I can look at the chat just out of the corner of my eye. Hello, Susan. It just caught her running up the chair behind me. Anyway, what I wanted to do, I wanted to come home and craft, and I wasn't dismantling furniture, but that wasn't the time to do something big and complicated. So I had these really nice skeins of they're really balls of Rikarumi Spin, which is the fade, and I was just crocheting coasters, just the most basic treble stitched coasters you can imagine. But I was putting these glittery purple borders on that toned with all the colours in the fade, and it was just really satisfying, and I knew I was always going to sell them. But one of the things that makes, if you are ever looking to sell what you make, is you have to kind of elevate it a little. Is that often, because people, I do find, I don't think this is unusual, people who don't craft underestimate massively how long it takes anything to craft. Or they think that because it's a hobby, and especially it's a hobby associated with older women, it's not valuable. I've had a lot of conversations with the public about this, and one of the things I have found that kind of elevates what you make is you don't have to change what you're making at all, but you have to put thought into your labels or your packaging or your presentation or even what you name your project or your product, so that it is people still want the item, right? If you're buying a hand crocheted rainbow set of coasters, you're not going to buy that if you don't want it, but you might not look at it if it's just kind of like a stack of bits of crochet, right? Whereas I have starched these with cornstarch so that they are kind of stiffer and more robust, and then put them in colours and tied them up with a coordinating yarn and put labels on them that are, So that's what I did last week, basically, is I had run out of the purple border, and a friend very kindly got me some, because I said, does anyone have any of this purple sparkly yarn? And she said, yes. And then she said, actually, you should have one. I bought you one, because she was doing an order, which is lovely. And so I finally got the borders on those, and then I was like, oh my god, I need to starch these. Oh my god, this requires learning how to starch things. But last week, I was cooking up cornstarch in my kitchen. So that, it was good. It was good fun. So I was sort of, dunking all these coasters and leaving them out to dry and then photographing them. So if you hop onto slipstitchldn.co.uk or indeed at slipstitchldn on Instagram, you can see pictures of them. I was going to say I could just show you on my phone, except my phone is... Cat. Where is the cat? She's not in her nest. If she goes into her nest, we'll put cat cam back where it was planned. every other time I've tried this, she's just gone to bed for the whole thing. And I was like, well, you can't get me that easily. I'll bring the webcam to you. No. Oh, hello to the chat. Hello, I am very definitely awake. You don't have to be. No one's requiring that. Well, if you were just joining us, we've had mobile cat cam. We've had cats on big cams. I don't know where she currently is. Very interesting that I can lose a cat in a studio flat. Most of the rooms don't even have doors. I don't know why. Whoever previously owned this house took out most of the internal doors. The bathroom still has a door. The kitchen doesn't. The living room doesn't. The bedroom is not a separate room. But yeah, sometimes I think, how do you lose a cat in one big room? Frequently and easily is how. So what I'm trying to say is I don't have the coasters because I got them photographed. I was like, they're online. So technically I could sell them that way. So I don't need to package them. But no, I packaged them up and I took them to T&T and put them on sale. And then I've been making my scarves, which I talked about last week. And I've obviously done a few of those and then gone back to something else. But I've been making trinkets. Oh, it's because she's so little. That's how I can lose Susie in this one room. It's true. She is teeny tiny. She's not allowed out because she might slip through the cracks in the pavement. Listen to my trinkets. Is this ASMR? I've been making stitch markers. That's a gummy bear. These are my favourites. They're clouds. They're iridescent I believe that they are glow in the dark, but I've not tried that. But I've been making all these little stitch markers / progress keepers to put in to get into the shop. I keep saying that I will get them online, but they are so flipping annoying to photograph because they're tiny and they are shiny, and yeah, trying to get a good picture of them. So I need to make a little, I think we need a classic 2017 flat lay with them. But yeah, these, most of them have clips, hinged clips on them, so that you can use them in crochet, or you can use them as progress keepers if you want to, show how far you've got. If, like me, you tell people how far you've got through your projects, it's quite useful to be able to clip it in and say, this is where I was last week, this is how far I've gone. Some of them are just on rings. And obviously these are quite large, so you might not want to use these ones all the way around for your project, but I've been making tiny beaded ones to go with. So currently these are all just individually available. I've got little backing cards for them, but I've also got backing cards so I can do a set where you get one big one, and I think I'm going to do 5 little ones. So you'd have like a beginning of round, and all of these. But no matter how many I buy, I'm always out of crimps, which are the tiny little, let me show you one here, the tiny little metal bits basically hold anything in place. So they are very little, they're not really rings, very short tubes, and you crush them with your pliers and they grip onto the wire so that anything, nothing can slide off where they are. But each marker has 2, and I lose at least 1 per 2 markers because they just go flying. So I've just done an order for more of these. Otherwise, I'd have been doing these on stream because I'm really deep into metal beading. But yeah, I will get these listed online, or they are available in person. And they're £2 each. Super fun little treat. Yeah, but that's what I've been doing. and then trying to stop Susie eating them because her favourite snack is plastic bags. It's not the beads she tries to eat. I mean, she will try. She likes to bat around the finished ones because they've got a bit more weight to them. But hello. This child loves to chew soft plastics. Yeah, you. So a bit of a nightmare on that front, keeping away from all the bags because all the beads come in little plastic Ziploc bags. And then Susie thinks, this is great, this is for me. Hi, do you want to come out? What are you thinking? No, that's a cable. No. Yeah, I know, baby. Anyway, that's what I've been crafting. And I did do a bit more work on my scarf last week, and I've been writing up the pattern for it. And I need to, thank you, take some pictures for the pattern. But I want to do it on a sunny day, and then today's been a mixture. The sun really only came out just as I started streaming, which is what summoned Miss Madam here. Oh, is the radiator on, Susie? Do you want to sit in your... So Susie loves to sit in radiators. That's what she loves. She is sniffing every item of electronic... Yes! Every item of electronic equipment on this table. Hi! She loves to sit... Well, not even on the radiator, in the radiator, because she's so little. She just sort of slops in. If you were to join or subscribe to my Patreon, which you can do either for free and you get everything, or there's a tip jar. At some point, the money stuff will pay for some things, but for now, I'm just doing a weekly newsletter and sending you updates about... Susan, stop eating that wire! About this minx. But every weekly newsletter has a photo of Susie in it. And, but, no, we don't eat glue guns in this family. Yeah, so you get pictures, you get a weekly Susie picture. Do you want to come and sit and be nice? Or are you going to be Tiny Goblin? Because if you just want to sit somewhere, we can get your camera. Now, I don't have children. And I've always thought, what's great about not having children is you don't have children's accoutrements all around your house. Toys. Things. I've got 13 kilos of cat litter. Sorry, she is sticking her head above the laptop. Like this. I've got 13 kilos of cat litter just there. There are cat toys everywhere. It's very clearly Susie's house, and I'm just allowed to live in it. You helping? What are you looking at? Shall we get cat cam? Cat. If you go back down now that I've picked up cat cam, I shall be... Oh my god, I should put little ears on it. So this is... Oh, that's sort of upsettingly recursive. This is my view. It's very professional. That's in case I get a little bit thirsty. Just wanted to have a little glass of water. This is my beading jar, which had biscuits in and is from my best friend, and just a lovely tin. Hello. Good. I thought I was just going to craft, and she was going to be in a little corner of the screen. And yet, big rosy small cat. It's lovely that you're out and about, Susie, but the setup was pristine, and then you don't need to eat pliers. Yeah, okay. Well, that's what comes from trying to eat pliers. So anyway, how are you? Okay. Yeah, good. Yeah, no, I'm... Now my plan for when I have finished my socks is scarf becomes work knitting, which I allegedly do between 2 and 4. And then I have a vest on the go, which I believe I've mentioned because it is laced, and I couldn't possibly I don't think I could do a stream. Full stop. And then we've got adding trying to knit lace where it's charted on both sides. So she's now decided, just so you know, to investigate every shelf on the 4x4 Cadillacs. It's a Cadillacs heavy household. I understand it, you know, some people find them extremely naff. I think they're great. But yeah, no, she is now on a shelf because I have moved the microphone so she has access to a shelf. I mean, if you want to stay in a cube, Susie, again, I've got a great camera set up for it. Let's see if we can get... There we go. Well, we had it for moments, for mere moments. Yeah, so I'm going to do this tank top. It's really lovely. It's, in fact, I can grab it. It's here. I've started just storing my projects on my sofa. I was, you know. But it's this, which is the, yeah, what is this? Solstice 4-ply. This only launched a month or 2 before I closed my shop, so I haven't, although we sold it, I didn't get a chance to fully internalise what it all was, so I couldn't tell you what this colour is. But this is, yeah, this is, as you can see, I'm not very far into a tank top, or into a vest. Excuse me for clanging that against the microphone. And the rows are really long because it's 4-ply and it's all in one piece at the moment. Great, love that. So you can see why I'm not doing that on stream, but look at this. Look at this, isn't it pretty? And it is, yeah, wow. See, it's weird that this is a yarn that was technically in my shop and I couldn't tell you what, I mean, it's wool, tencel and cashmere. Oh, lyocell. So 70% Falkland wool, 20% lyocell and 10% cashmere. This is West Yorkshire Spinners Solstice 4-ply in lava. Did you know that series? This is called lava. And when I have used, this is, I think it's not really a project bag, it's for putting your yarn cake in. And then I could put my yarn cake in here, this one, and it would be all neat and tidy, and then it would, you know, if I slowly collapse all of the project bags in on each other. And allegedly this only takes 2 skeins, because obviously this is like 400 meters and it's a sleeveless vest. Goodness me. Yes, thank you, Toby in the chat there saying Rosie using a coral. I went to get a blood test last week and he went, "Ah, you like pink, huh?" And now I would argue that I was wearing quite a lot of lilac and coral as well as pink, but that's really the summation of everything I wear. At least, well, I meant to have a purple fringe, it's just kind of faded blonde now. But at points I have had coral hair and a coral phone case and a coral outfit on, and I'll be knitting in coral, and then there was, you know, the point where everything was purple. Damn it. Honestly, I just want her to go to bed for like 30 seconds so I can show you my beautiful setup. But I mean, obviously what I should do is just have the camera there so I can check the camera, like the first webcam, which was of course used to monitor a coffee pot in a university lab. I have been thinking about, I have got a project. It's not really one I want to show you yet. You can see it in the view here, but I'll never tell you which. I've been thinking about like, oh, I'd really like to do some cross stitch or something. Not my sampler. That's way too complicated. I have a... The great thing about the size of this house is that you never more than an arm's reach away from a linen tapestry. But this needs surgery because the center is off. It was wonky, so when I marked in the center line, it's off. So I need to cut. Well, my plan is, I think I've been talking about this for like the last 3 or 4 years. It starts in the middle at the top, which is where I found the middle, and then it drifts as it goes. So I am going to cut the fabric and realign it, take out the center line, and there are some horizontal rows of cross stitch in the design, some quite heavy bands that I'm going to be able to hide the seam in. It all is doable and quite straightforward, even though it is chopping into my incredible, like this winds all the way up. This is like a proper old school cross stitch tapestry that I'm going to chop in half. But I need to like work out which bits I'm going to need to like take it off the band and the frame to work out how far to shift it over. Which is obviously fantastic, and I can't wait to do that. I've sort of, in some ways, can't, because I think it will be extremely satisfying to sew back together and then hide all of the seam. Hello! Have you had a snack? She's had a snack. But I've got some little cross-stitchy kits that I might set up, but, you know, we're trying not to set up everything. Or not, you know, not have 100 million projects on the go. There we go. Oh, look at the little fur. She's very good. Yeah, so I've been resisting getting into one of my embroidery kits. When Susie was exploring the big shelves a moment ago, we got a glimpse at some of the many boxes of stuff. So you can see why my attempts are about whittling down what I've got, so I can actually use and value it rather than feeling burdened by it and going, oh, this is great, this is... Yeah, I don't just want to look at everything and be like, I'm never going to finish all these projects, and instead be working on things that I'm sort of loving and enjoying. So I am quite excited to get these socks done, because I say that you should always have socks on the go. However, these are... They still take me about 6 months a pair at the moment, because I actually don't knit on them very much. I always say they're great for travel, but I never leave my house. So it will be nice to get these going. And, you know, my thought normally is, well, then you cast on another pair of socks, but I'm not going to, because I'm working on other things. Oh, she's behind me. I might need Big Brother style automatic cameras around the entire house. She's too little. She's too little. What I would like to crochet is all of the contents of Susie Bishop's suitcase from the film Moonrise Kingdom, because that is who my Susie is named after. So I want to crochet her little binoculars and a little suitcase and some little books and some little tins of fish, and I want to felt her a little red berry. There was an article in the New York Times about modern etiquette a couple of years ago, and one of them is that no one should ever hear the voice you used to talk to your pets. But unfortunately, I mean, look at the little face. One of the, Faith's saying one of the downsides of cycling is less crafting and book time. This is true, in that I have replaced, luckily, winter has meant that I've been cycling less on this front. So my podcast time is back up, but I would rather be cycling when I'm traveling, and it is now sunshine time, so I'll probably be cycling again. But when I was working and cycling more regularly, when I was going into the shop every day, I did find it really cut into my podcast time. But then I was on the tube the other day, and I thought how extremely glad I am that I don't commute into town. I did that for about 18 months. And then my immune system was like, we got to get out of this somehow. ME, perhaps? So, yeah, then when I'm on the Victoria line, even though I've not commuted on the Victoria line since 2013, that still always makes me think of my commute. So I used to work in Victoria. See, this is what I wanted. She's just sitting nicely. Now when I go on the Victoria line, and it's just the things like that specific maquette, that specific announcer for each line, and I kind of go, I'm gonna go to work, even though usually I'm going somewhere really lovely. I will say that was, it is. Because when I started working, I had very much like an hour there commute, an hour home, and you think, oh yeah, you work for 8 hours a day, but I did a quarter of it again commuting. So this idea of 8 hours to toil, 8 hours to sleep, 8 hours to rest, or 8 hours, 8 hours for play. I'm like, yeah, but quarter of my playtime is spent on the Victoria line. That's why you should all quit your jobs, so you can sit at home and look at your cat. People are like, oh, how are you finding, not working? Or do you say not working in the shop? Obviously working, but working from home and with less of a sort of formal work schedule. And I'm like, well, I do get to look at my cat a lot more. And that's probably the best bit, is how much Susie time I get. And I don't have to commute, although I have taken to going for a walk around the block as a commute in the morning, so that I get a little bit of fresh air. I can say I left the house, and obviously it's not an hour on the Victoria line, but right, I'm going to set off now in my Birkenstocks and socks, because I'm not stopping to put real shoes on if I'm going to be out for less than 15 minutes. I was on the tube, and there was an advert for these trainers, I think they're Skechers, where you don't have to do them up, and they kind of flick closed on your foot. And it was billed very much as like, hey, what a cool thing, Sofia Vergara will sell you these trainers. And I'm like, that's a mobility aid. That's a mobility aid that you're selling as trainers for everyone, which is great, but it's very interesting because, when people make fun of infomercials where they're like, who can't open a can? And you're like, disabled people can't open a can, but they're not selling it to disabled people. They're selling it to the general population, and the disabled people are like, actually, that's for us, thanks so much. And I did think maybe I should get the weird snap-on trainers, where you just kind of put your foot in them and they go around your foot. Because of the amount of times where I go, I'm just going to wear socks and Birkenstocks, even though it makes this outfit look mad. So that I don't have to stop and undo shoes. Because you think that's ridiculous, Rosie. How can you not look at cat cam. How can you not stop to put on shoes? Okay. Because I have to sit down. And then I have to loosen the laces so that I can put my feet in. Then I have to tie the laces. And then on both shoes, and then when I go home, I have to undo the laces. Possibly even sit down again, or at least, not just kick them off. And then I have to tidy them up, tidy the laces away, because you're not putting trainers with the laces just trailing on the shoe shelf. What am I? So sometimes it's just sandals and socks here. I feel like I build these craft streams and they're really just a monologue. And I know that this was not the cat cam that was the most calm. I'm like, have a cozy, calm stream. And it was me chasing a cat around a flat with a camera. However, and it's still not the setup I planned. I planned it with a little bed. It looked great in my tests. But we have got cat. Oh my god, I should put a border around it and some text. Okay. See, upgrading the stream each week. And yeah, we haven't done a huge amount. I've shown you crafts, but I think this is going to be like, hi everybody, why don't you sit and have a cup of tea, and I'll gently talk through the composition of my wool while you listen to the clacking of my needles. Except it's a very gentle clacking because it's bamboo, and instead it's me going, oh bloody hell, there's a cat. Right. I think I need more toast. I had peanut butter and toast before I started this stream, and I'm using a small loaf due to some bread consumption changes. You know when your groceries get thrown out and you're like, I'm gonna have to get a different loaf of bread, but then they used to do half full-size loaves, but now you just get the small loaves. I don't want a small loaf. I want less of a full-size loaf. Who's eating small? I don't look like somebody who eats small sandwiches. What am I, a child? Anyway, so I had one slice of peanut butter toast and I don't think it was enough. And I need to bake a cake. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining. Let's go to Big Cat Cam. There, the beautiful background of some masking tape and 13 kilograms of cat litter. But there's my pretty baby. And, I'm glad that we finally, this many weeks in, there's many attempts of streaming in, got some cat content, even if it were, oh my god, she's the most beautiful princess in the world. Even if it was not in the calm, planned out manner that I had intended. I will be back next week. It's a bank holiday. Well, what else am I going to do? And this, bye, gives me some structure to my week. So thank you so much for joining me and for joining Susie. And I'm gonna have these. I'm gonna make a cup of tea and I'm gonna unravel a sock so that I can put the heels in at these later. Have a lovely week and a very happy bank holiday weekend if you're in the UK. Enjoy your 4 days off, or 2 days off that makes a 4-day weekend. Enjoy the cues at B&Q. Bye bye.